All right, Zatima fans, here we are at the season 1 finale at last. It feels just like yesterday. We were waiting for a release date in the trailer, but here we are, episode 10. I just gotta say, so happy all 10 episodes didn't drop at one time, because it really would have, I think by now we would have been like, well, Zatima was a while ago. I mean, we would be like, yeah, it is a hell of a lot better than Sistas season 5 so far, but I'm glad they stretched it out. I don't know how long the wait before season 2 is, but regardless, season 1 ended off pretty good. Okay, so episode title, To Be Frank. This episode, I laughed a lot. I think this episode and the last one were hilarious. This one being way over the top, hilarious, funny. But when I thought about the Fatima and how she reacted to the Bryce thing with Zach, it didn't really, it felt a bit off, because I feel like this episode, at one moment I wanted to dock points for something, but then the episode called itself out. Like, another character held another one accountable, and I like that, so I'm not docking points off. I am giving it a 9 out of 10. And no, it has nothing to do with the DNA results at the end of the episode. I will talk about that, though. I think for me, there was a lot of, again, double standards. Like, the way Fatima reacted to Nathan's infidelity and Zach, quote unquote, covering it up, but yet she doesn't feel the same thing about, quote unquote, covering it up, about Bryce making a move on Zach. So it feels like there was a lot of, the way men handle a situation is different than how women do. And then also sexual orientation is kind of brought into the question as well. So I feel like this episode has a lot of grounds for some healthy discussion. While we may not agree on certain points, I think that it was a good episode for discussions on various topics like this. And also, the episode starts with Zach being laughed at by Fatima. You always find yourself in some bullshit. That is true. Alright, so before doing the final episode review, hit like and subscribe. Follow me on social media. In the description box, the links are all there. And hit the bell icon and select all. That way you don't miss out whenever I post on the channel. So Bryce is still on the floor, and Fatima and Angela like, whoa, wait, what's going on here? Bryce is like, oh yeah, it's fine. Zach was showing me a new boxing move, but Zach ain't even looking at him in the eye. He's like, yeah, okay. So Angela rushes over to Bryce's side, and Zach, he's standing there. Fatima's like, what's going on? So he's like, oh hey baby, you want to see my office? Yeah, come on. Then they go in and close the door. And after that, Zach tells Fatima what's going on, and this woman just busts out laughing. And like I said, it was funny about the whole, you always find yourself in some BS. But Zach is pissed off, and rightfully so, because he mentions how, man, it's triggering. Wait, triggering? Zach, what are you trying to tell me? It's not like that, Fatima. When I'm in jail, this happened? What, this happened to you in jail? Like, no, I just don't want that stuff. So like I said, it does feel like Zach was the butt of the joke. It was funny when I first watched the episode, but then when I sat back and I thought about it, it does feel like Fatima wasn't really considering how Zach felt. This is a big thing towards the end of the episode when they're talking at the hot tub. But my thing is, well, Fatima, what if it was a woman who made a move on Zach? You would be ready to kill her. But with Bryce, he got kids and probably trying to kiss you. It's like, look, he got close. He went in for the kiss. It was a reflex. Like his lips touched his bottom lip grazed my top lips. I'm on for that shit. So yeah, that I can see why. Yeah, Zach will be pissed. So Bryce and Angela come out, and you can tell they just had a quickie. And he invites her out to dinner, and Zach is quick to say, oh no, we can't go to dinner. Yeah, I got bubble guts and whatnot. And then they just leave. Okay, y'all handle that. So, Zach is like, Fatima's like, bubble guts, really? Look, it's like, I had to get out of that. It's like, oh yeah, you and your boy. It's like, it's funny. I'm over here talking about, the stripper next door, and I should be more worried about Bryce. Look, Fatima, that ain't even funny. Like, you need to stop. So, they get back home, and Lori, Lord have mercy. Look, Deja's one thing, but Lori in like the leather black, and then the boots, and holding the baseball bat and shit. what the freak is up with me being attracted to these aggressive women? So she got the baseball bat looking like she's ready to, pop some skulls open. And so Fatima and Zach get out of the car. Zach's like, whoa, 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 what's going on here? And the one thing I like, is the consistency with Fatima in that purse. Like, she approaches Lori, but her hand is in her purse. And, it's just a back and forth. You a bitch. Oh, I know you ain't called me out my name. And the thing I loved about this is, despite this being quote unquote a different universe than Sistas, it's the fact that Fatima is constantly telling Zach to handle the situation. And I'm like, this is exactly what she told Zach about the Karen thing in the last episode, with her calling her out of her name a bunch of times. So Zach is trying to de-escalate the situation before it gets out of hand. Fatima's gun and Lori's bat. So he's like, okay, this is, Nathan's wife. So what's going on? I tracked his phone. He's here. So look. Okay. How about this? You hand me the baseball bat. I'll let you in the house. Look for Nathan. Fatima, I need you to calm down. When the moment Zach took that purse, I'm like, yeah, okay, he's going to take the purse and make sense. But this dude puts it on his shoulder. When I tell you I was dying, I was dead. Because the fact, look, handle that, Zach, handle that. Look, I'm the man of this house. I'll handle it. And then when he does that, like, when he lifts his shoulder to put the verse on there even more, and then walks up to the door to Lori, I was done. I was completely done. So Zach and Fatima go in the house, and Zach turns around because we actually hear his neighbors. Everything okay over there? No, everything's fine. Everything's fine. It's okay. So he goes in the house. Lori looks around, and Fatima's like, really? Because she's looking under the cabinet. She's throwing the pillows off the couch and shit. So she gets to go upstairs. And while she's up there, Zach, says, look, this is Nathan's wife. And, I don't know why she's looking for Nate. So it's like, see, yeah, the company you keep, Zach, the company you keep. So when she comes downstairs and doesn't find him there, she does apologize, but, it's kind of a rude apology, but things kind of, de-escalate just a bit when, she's like, I don't know what he's doing. She does break down because her and Fatima kind of have a little bonding moment there. And, Zach goes to get her some water. I think, was it Zach or Fatima that got the water? I forgot, but he's like, oh yeah, I think, Fatima got the water because Zach was going first, like, but no, hey, Fatima, don't put none in that water. So he goes to the back to open the door to the patio to get some air, and he notices Nathan and Deja down there. They in the hot tub. So Zach starts freaking out, and he tells Fatima, no, I'll cut on the AC. No, Zach, come on, just open the door, get some air. No. So he calls her over there, and she's over there. Look, y'all, I'm sorry. It's like, I'm just, he just makes me crazy sometimes. And it's like, that's okay. And then he looks down, and Fatima is like, no, we about to bust this dude right here, right now. And then Zach's like, no, look, I think, oh yeah, why don't you go to the back door, Deja, and get some air? No. I think, excuse me, Lori, why don't you go through the back door and get some air? No, Lori, I think you should go through the front. Look, Lori, that's what we're going to do. I think you should go right now. We're going through the front door. The vows, this entire episode captured the essence of Zatima, from the drama as well as the comedic aspect. And this episode right here, I could rewatch it over and over again. So, while Zach is taking Lori through the front door, Fatima quickly goes through the back. You see, Deja on top of Nathan. They blowing smoke in each other's faces. And the thing was, you could tell how high they were, that, they didn't recognize what was going on. Because, Fatima was wearing them heels, so you would think they would hear / notice her coming down the steps. So as soon as she gets down to the grass, she takes those shoes off, drags Deja out of the tub, punches her in the head. Nathan literally starts calling her out of her name, like, bitch, what are you doing? It's like, man, look, who the hell are you talking to? And then, Deja runs out, is like, what are you doing in my backyard? Because that was the one thing I'm like, wait, why is she in the hot tub with Nathan? I'm like, is that, like, I know they got two separate halves of the duplex, so is one backyard? But no, actually, it's not. I mean, there's the fence closing it off. I should have noticed this before. I just thought, like, in the other episodes when we saw the hot tub and the fence, I'm like, oh, okay, that fence with the door must be like the outside of the property, backyard. So it's like one backyard, but actually it's not. My bad. I didn't know. So, Deja leaves and we see that luscious behind of hers as she goes out the back. And then, Nathan, who's high, he just starts calling Fatima out of her name like, this is my house. Man, this is Zach's house. This is his hot tub. Well, yeah, I'm his woman. And she flashes the ring. What, he proposed to you? What the hell? So he gets slapped in the face. And then from there, Zach rushes out there to, stop the situation. And it's funny because Fatima rushes up to catch up to Lori and says, hey, girl, you know what? Come back in. Come on. But let's go through the back. And as they're walking around the house, wait, is that Nate's car over there? Yeah, that's his car. Wait, that's Nate's car. What's he doing? Well, I mean, what's his parked over here for? No lie, the fact that Lori had the baseball bat, I thought Fatima was going to be like, I know what we should do. And then basically pull a Hayden, or basically pull what she did to Hayden's car on Nathan's car. That's where I thought this was going. But, they didn't. So regardless, Zach is telling Nathan, he needs to go. Nathan is still high. He's pissed off. You know what? What? You taking her side over mine? Look, we known each other since we were 10 years old. He's just running his mouth. But Zach's like, look, you need to get dressed. You need to get up out of here. I'm trying to save your ass. This is just like episode 4 when Zach was trying to save Belinda from the wrath of Fatima. But instead of leaving, she kept running her mouth. And then, of course, Fatima fired the gun. Now, in this situation, there's a baseball bat. So, Nathan finally gets dressed. He's about to go. Fatima comes in. No, you ain't getting dressed. And then again, Nathan starts going at it with him. And Fatima must have said something to Lori before they got behind, the house. Cause I'm thinking like Lori would have bust in there, but Fatima's like, look. I'm going to go through the back. You wait right here. Don't come in, no matter what you hear. Wait until the door opens and then you move. All right, girl. So as soon as Nate opens the door, bop! Bottom of the bat hits him right in the nose. Lori broke his nose. I can't believe you're cheating me. It's like your nose is the first thing that's going to get broken, but Zach stops her from pulling a Harley Quinn on his ass with that baseball bat. But baby, come on back. I'm coming. And then Nathan chases after Lori and Fatima is pissed. So they go back inside to talk about it. And this is the part of the episode where it felt like Captain America Civil War. Are you Team Cap or are you Team Iron Man? And you could see both sides of the argument. That's exactly what I liked about this scene. But even better is the fact that Fatima is mad at Zach. Were you trying to cover for him? Wait. Do y'all guys cover for each other? When she said that, I immediately thought about Kevin Hart. Let me explain. Look, when I need you to lie for me, you're my best friend. You're my best fucking friend. That means when I get caught, nigga, we get caught. Look. Hey. Where were we just now? Oh, hey. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. Hey. Look, I forgot the dude's name. Hey. Tony. No, Eddie. I forgot. Basically, Kevin Hart's friend in that scenario. Hey, man, I'm hungry as shit. That means the bitch got to drop on us. Bitch got to drop on us. This is an emergency call. Like, help me, nigga, help me. That's exactly what this episode felt like. But the thing was, she's mad at Zach because like y'all guys cover for each other. I'm thinking to myself, Fatima, I think you should know that friends do that for each other. They cover for each other. But Zach, because, oh man, let me say, Nathan even told Fatima, Zach said it was cool for me to come back here. And that was pretty messed up because now you got Zach calling this and Zach had to convince Fatima that he truly had nothing to do with Nathan disrespecting their home by coming in through the back. So, in the hot tub and whatnot. So while Fatima's in her mood, which reminded me of last night's episode of Sistas, Zach is like, whoa. So you are mad at me because you think I'm covering for, Nate, when in reality, say what you want about, yeah, Zach was covering for Nate. I think Zach was de-escalating the situation because like he says later in the episode, I'm trying to do better for myself. But he constantly brings up like when Lori and Fatima were going at it. Hey, we're in a nice neighborhood. We got neighbors. We can't be acting ignorant like this. Like this is a ghetto. So yeah, he knew if Lori went through the back, it would have been some problems. And I'm thinking to myself, Fatima did hit Deja in the head. Could there be grounds for a lawsuit, even though technically she was trespassing by being in the backyard hot tub? But the conversation shifts gears to, what about you covering for Bryce by not telling Angela what's going on? And she's like, oh, that's different. And then I love how she does say, well, look, we're not going to agree on this. And I like that. But I like the fact that Zach was able to make that rebuttal because, yeah, I mean, some people on Twitter responded to my tweet about that, where I said, I'm so glad Zach called out Fatima for the hypocrisy of exposing Nathan's cheating on the spot to Lori while being mad at him for quote unquote helping to cover it up. But then she's covering up Bryce trying to make a move on Zach from Angela. How is that not the same? Some people are like, well, number one, Bryce and Angela aren't married, and it's not like they're, Bryce made a move on Zach in their own home. Yeah, but at their business, and after Zach made it clear he's not, gay, so I don't know. So later on, Angela calls Fatima and says Bryce is being strange, quieter than usual. Fatima says to ask Bryce about it. Basically, this is a kind of a lengthy extended scene of Angela thinking something is really up, no pun intended, with Bryce. And then, Fatima's like, look, I think you should ask Bryce about that instead of me. So she does say, yes, something did happen, but like I said, you need to ask him. And then Angela's like, well, how about we have dinner together and talk it over? I don't think Zach is ready for all that. Well, look, we're coming over. Look, hey, you're not going to just invite yourself over here like that. But, I gotta ask Zach. Well, I mean, it's your house too. I mean, yeah, technically it's his house, but I gotta make him feel like it's his. I remember a comedian, I think it was Chris Rock or somebody that said that, but ladies or married gentlemen, is that true? Like, even if the man buys the house, the woman is the person who makes it a home. So it's like, even though it's the man's house, like he buys it and everything, the woman has to make him feel like it's his. I feel like that's what's going on here. So, from there, Fatima's like, look, how about this? I will talk to Zach and I will call you back to let you know about the dinner. So Zach is cleaning the hot tub. Tony comes over. A great scene. So, Tony's like, yo, man, I heard all the shit that went down. And Zach's like, look, calm your ass down. Fatima's up there. Oh, shit. Okay, you're right, man. So basically, Zach is in his feelings and he takes that on Tony. Tony's like, look, I didn't know about all that went down. Like, I wasn't a part of that. All I saw was Nathan getting the phone number from Deja. That was it. I didn't know he was going to come over here and pull that stunt. And then Zach is like, look, y'all need to grow up because Nate, he's been the same since middle school. And I mean, apparently Tony and Zach have known each other since like Pee-wee. So I'm guessing that's like Pee-wee softball or football or something. So, they've all known each other from way back in the day. So, Tony's like, look, let me help you clean up. And the thing is, Zach's like, look, that's how it's always been since middle school. Nate messes up, you laugh about it. Y'all need to change. Like, look, I'm trying to do better for myself. It's the fact that, I'm moving on up in life. I'm trying to handle things differently than I used to. And, again, Tony's like, look, I didn't know. Let me help you clean this tub out. So he rolls up his sleeves and he's being a good friend. And the thing is, the only thing I feel like, I don't want to say was missing, but I thought Zach was going to say it was like, see, Tony, I appreciate that, but that's another problem. Every time Nate messes up, we got to clean up the mess, or you try to cover up for him instead of Nate taking responsibility. But, like I said, Tony was trying to be a good friend in the moment. So while he's about to get started, again, Zach apologizes for taking out on Tony what he should have taken out on Nate. Like, look, you're not the one who did this. So, as they're about to clean, Fatima comes down for a couple of beers, and Tony, she's like, hey, Tony. Oh, hey, Fatima. Yo, you want a beer? Oh, actually, I'm about to go. So I like how Tony read the situation. Like, after everything that went down, he decided to bounce. But hey, Zach, you call me, if you need me to help finish up tomorrow. So he leaves, and Fatima's like, oh, okay. So how's he as a friend? Well, he's better than Nathan. I'll tell you that right now. So, she brings up the Angela dinner thing, and this is the part of the episode where I'm kind of like, it does feel like Zach's feelings aren't really being respected here. So basically, she talks about the whole, well, maybe, you should talk. Angela wants to come over for dinner, and Bryce too. Oh, hell no, I don't want to talk about that. And Zach ain't feeling it. And she asked if he's mad at him because, look, Fatima, if he's bisexual, he's bisexual. He feels violated. And I think that is a perfect reason for Zach not to want to talk to him right away. I get that. Because if you told like, let's say if for whatever reason somebody asked you, were you bi, were you gay or whatever, and you made it clear multiple times, I'm not. But this person still tries to make a move on you after that, you're not going to be able to look at them the same way again. Not because they're, a different orientation than you, but the fact that despite you being honest with them, they decide to make a move anyway. Yeah, I wouldn't trust them. And from there, Zach does say, well, yeah, he should have just told me. Then it kind of made Zach look bad in the way, like, so Zach, I could see some people being like, well, Zach, are you telling me you wouldn't be friends with Bryce? You wouldn't have started a business with Bryce if he told you he was bisexual? You see what I mean? I feel like that was a writing problem there. I don't think that part of the conversation needed to be there because, like I said, some would interpret it as, oh, if Bryce had told Zach he was bi, then Zach probably wouldn't want to have anything to do with him. I don't like that. That's why, that's like one reason why the episode got docked a point for me. So Fatima does mention, well, hey, he's good for you in the sense, like, he's a good source and whatnot, which again feels weird because I'm like, well, Fatima, are you only giving Bryce the benefit of the doubt because he is like, into Zach? It doesn't make sense because up until these episodes, you like, I don't know about Bryce, and like, you say he good people, but something shady about him. So does him working with Gary not matter now because he's bi? Look, like I said, I don't want to sound harsh in regards to this subject, but it just feels like because Bryce is bisexual, every other problem that Fatima had is gone now. I don't know. Like I said, I need to rewatch the scenes, okay? Because I only watched the episode once and I'm getting these reviews out as quickly as possible. But to me, it just felt off. So regardless, Zach's like, fine, invite him over. So Fatima goes up to her phone in the kitchen and she notices a missed call from Kelly, the girl at her job. And they got the results from the lab and she emailed them to Fatima. And then she goes back down to the hot tub. Oh, did you call him? Now what? Oh, no, actually, I got the DNA test results. Yeah. Oh, yeah, because Kelly does say, okay, well, no problem, girl. You have a good weekend. So it is confirmation this episode takes place on Friday. And she's like, she gets off the phone. Yeah, well, based on these test results, we'll see how good of a weekend it is. So she tells Zach about it. It's like, oh, he's confident that he's not the father. And Maury basically, this should have been like a Maury voiceover. In the case of Heather's 3-year-old son, Zach, you are the father. Because Fatima saw the results first and her face sank. And then Zach looked at it. There's a 99.9% chance this is your son. And that's how the fucking season ends. Folks, to be frank, I'm kind of like, shit. Why do I feel like Karen's baby Zach's baby now? I feel like now we're just going to like throw all these babies on him like he's Nick Cannon. Honestly, I like my Nathan theory better. That, Nathan was the father. Tequila Robinson was the one who originally commented on one of my videos. And I did a full video about that theory. I would have liked that route better. Not just because, oh, at least it's not Zach's baby. No, I think that it would have been a more interesting storyline to show Nathan really is a low-down piece of shit. But we don't do anything with that. So, yeah, this was a interesting finale. I think for me, like I said, the whole Bryson storyline, it just felt a bit off to me because now I don't like him as a character that much. Again, not because he's bisexual, but the fact that somebody who you are attracted to, I'm not saying like it's a crime for him to be attracted to Zach, but the fact that Zach made it clear that he's not into the same gender, but Bryce decides to make a move anyway, is just wrong. It is. And I feel like Fatima, like, let's say Valerie decided to go into business with Zach, and instead of being a question of sexuality, it was a question of, do you not find me attractive, Zach? Look, like I said, Shady Val already got a girl, and not to mention we're engaged. And then if Valerie and Zach were looking over properties and she made a move on him, and Fatima and Angela walked up like they did in the episode, or in this case, maybe just Fatima, I don't know. How would Fatima act? Would she be laughing about it? Would she be joking about it? So it's just one of those things where I think Zach's feelings, which were justified, were turned into a joke. And like I said before, I don't think there needed to be the added dialogue of Zach being like, well, you know, if he was bisexual, he should have told me. Because like I said before, by adding that line, there's always an asterisk by Zach of, well, Zach, are you saying if Bryce told you he was bisexual, you wouldn't have started a business with him? You wouldn't have trusted him? And seemingly all, and the bigger question would have been like, without Zach saying that, it's like Zach being like, wait, so is the reason Bryce did all that stuff for me, helping me out with the stocks and telling me how to beat the SEC and starting a business, is that only because he was attracted to me? So that could have led to an interesting character dynamic between the two in the following season of, yo, look, Bryce, I think you're good people still, but was the only reason you did all that nice stuff for me because you were attracted to me. That could have been better. So yeah, I have my issues. So that's pretty much it, folks. My final review of Zatima Season 1. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Guys, the season is over, but I'm doing a live stream either tonight or tomorrow night. I got a lot of other videos to do, a Season 1 overview. I want to talk about some of my favorite characters. Just because the season is over doesn't mean I'm done talking about the show. There's a lot to cover. So, thanks so much for tuning in. I know the cliffhanger ending has a lot of people pissed off. Zach is already a baby daddy. But with that being said, thanks for joining me for the ride. Shout out to the cast and crew for this amazing, amazing series. And there is more to come, not just with a Zatima Season 2, but more from me on this channel. Catch you in the next one.